with lasting happiness, things that last, that create happiness that's lasting in our life. And that is finding purpose and meaning in your life. And I'm so happy Will Smith is on this level now. Like, he is talking, and it would go over some people's head. He's like, I don't know what the dollar amount is in my checking account. I don't really know how much money I have, but I know that I have found a source of happiness that comes from within. And what else could you ask for? It's just a beautiful reminder of it, of us all. So that's why I sent that video to you immediately. I mean, not so that we could do this pillow talk, but just so that we can have a conversation about, between me and you, so that we can remind ourselves that our relationship is so much more important than material things. So that's why I sent it to you.
Well, I thought it was great, and I'm gonna tell you, I've always been impressed with Will and his family. I became more impressed, when I was in LA, and I met his brother Harry, and I sat with Harry for many hours and talked to him, and he looks just like his brother, which was just kind of eerie. But we talked extensively because we had a common interest in money and war. Harry managed a lot of Will's money, apparently. I don't know if he still does. I don't know what the situation is with that, but I do know that I can identify and spot smart people. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you went to school or not. I can tell if the neurons are firing, and Harry was firing on all cylinders. We just sat there, had a great conversation, just stare, like we're literally just intensely involved in this really deep discussion for many hours. And I love that. I just love a really good, deep conversation. And so Will, that tells me what kind of family he comes from. I remember Harry telling me about their father and how their father taught them certain things, and their mother and the world and everything else. So none of this surprises me. I kind of feel like Will is a guy where his journey isn't close to being over. It's like him being like this great actor. It's like he has this journey where he's this famous rapper, and then he's gonna have this journey where he's this amazing actor. That's probably going to continue forever. But then I think there's going to be a part where he's going to transcend even that. I could see Will maybe being president of the United States if he's crazy enough to do that. Maybe he had some billion-dollar organization that really does meaningful things around the world. And I love him showing that side of himself. I really was trying to figure out what was going through your head that day you decided to slap Chris Rock on the most important night of your life as an actor. Like that, he's been going to the Oscars, I'm sure, for like 30 years. And on the night where you finally win Best Actor, that's the night you slap him. I'm not. I don't. I'd love to just know why. Like what was happening. What was the backstory? What went on before that slap?
You know what? I think he got caught up in the role. To me, from where I'm sitting, it seems as if he got caught up in the role of playing this protective father. Because if you think about, what is it, what's the name of the movie? King Richard. It's all I think actors need to be able to turn it off a little bit and remove themselves from their the role that they play. And I think he was just so in the moment, and everything just seemed so raw to him, and he was so reactive. And I don't know what it's like to be at the Oscars, but I imagine there's just so much hype and energy around it. And I just think he just got swept up and caught up in this moment. Then we realize, after his wife starts talking, Jada Pinkett Smith, then we're like, oh, that filled in the gaps a little bit. So he's struggling with the potential loss of his spouse, who he seems like he's very much committed to her and her family. And I think that loss, I mean, come on, that's got to give complicated feelings there. So I just think it was just a ball of all of these things whirling around, and he just lost his senses for a minute and started taking it all out on Chris Rock. Hence the title of Chris Rock's special. What is it called? Selective Outrage or whatever it's called, whatever that special was called. But I just think that it culminated into, that sort of thing. But his speech was amazing. His acceptance speech was phenomenal. I mean, if you listen to it, he was emotional. He was crying. You can tell there was a lot going on inside. So
yeah, I saw that too. And yeah, well, what I see was not so much. I don't think we have the ability or the right to really speculate on why he did it. I think that we know so little about his life. Most of us know probably 0.1% of all the things Will Smith has going on in his life, all the things that have happened. And I think that part of knowledge is not just reflecting on what you know, it's starting off the conversation by understanding how much you don't know. No, and knowing that the universe of what you don't know is bigger than what you do know. And what I say that, the reason I say that is because we could sit here and talk all day about why we think Will slapped Chris. We could say, oh, they were beefing, or yeah, yeah, he was mad because he got punked in front of his wife, or yeah, he's trying to win his wife back. But we don't know. We have no idea. I am honestly what went through my mind is I said maybe he found out his wife just got cancer and you're making fun of his cancer stricken wife. Maybe there's something else that occurred, that we don't know about. I think that's the part that's interesting to me is not so much just what we do know. I mean, yeah, okay, two dudes beefing, he got mad, and that just seems too simplistic to me. I feel like it's deeper. I feel like something happened it before that really triggered it where it's almost like again I just think I guess I think maybe the reason cancer crosses my mind is because I've had cancer hit my family, and I know that if somebody was to say something crazy about my mama right after I find out about her cancer diagnosis, you would see a whole different Boyce Watkins.